And we are back. Our first grand finalist determined by way of wrecking every single person he's run into this tournament. It's time to find out who will have the pleasure, or perhaps displeasure, of getting wrecked by him next. It is time for a PvP. We've got PartinG, who played probably one of the best series that we've ever seen in Legacy of the Void against TY earlier today, going up against Showtime. Boys, what do we think of this one?
It's a great warm-up game that he had earlier. It's a great game that puts him in the right mindset going into Showtime and for a potential rematch against Solo a little bit down the line. But I have to be looking at this as Showtime. I believe in this kid. Right now, I think he's playing some of the best StarCraft he's played in a long time. He had a great start to 2015. It went off a little bit throughout the rest of the year. But he's back, he's playing well, he understands Legacy Void, he's practiced hard for it. I believe there's a chance here he can take him down.
Snoot, are we concerned about the possibility of whoever wins this match losing to Firecake?
That's a good question. I haven't seen that much of Firecake's CVP so far. What do you guys think?
I think whoever wins this is going to be favored no matter what versus Firecake.
All right.
Even though Firecake went through his group in first place?
Doesn't matter. A new day.
So dismissive, but
I'm loving everything that comes out of this guy's mouth today.
Well, so far I've been
very confident today.
So far I've been right with what I've said, and if I keep up like this, I'm allowed to be like this.
But about this matchup, like whenever you have a Korean against a non-Korean, you always have to kind of favor the Korean. And also, this isn't just any Korean, this is PartinG that...
Yes.
He's so good. Like, he will go to so many foreign tournaments, and if he's in the contender list, he usually finishes top 2, let's be fair. So the fact that he is against Showtime right now, he's got his work, Showtime's got his work cut out for him, but the performance that Showtime's put on in this bracket stage of the tournament, like it started off rocky, but he's just been getting better and better.
But you have to keep in consideration, they already played in this tournament, and they did lose, Showtime that is, 0-2 versus PartinG in group stages. And that isn't going to breed him full of confidence going up against them again in the best of 5. You have to look at PartinG as the clear favorite in this series, no matter who you are, what you think about this. Even if you do believe that Showtime has a chance, it is definitely favored in favor of PartinG.
So we've talked up Showtime a lot in this tournament. It's time to pay the piper. Apollo, who is going to win this because you haven't been wrong?
PartinG's more than likely going to win.
All right.
I'm going to be honest with you.
So now do you guys jump off the Showtime train, or how does this work?
I'm still on the Showtime train.
I mean, Sean is the Showtime train.
I am the Showtime train.
But you just said he's going to lose.
I believe there is a strong chance he could win, but more than likely, if you're looking at the odds, he's going to lose. If he wins,
Spoken like a true politician, Apollo.
If he wins, though, I told you before, I'll tell you again. This is the hard match that Showtime has. And this is the most difficult one, which he is not favored to win. The other ones, though, including Solar, he has a good shot, a very good shot.
All right. What do you think, Jens? Can I get your prediction?
The head-to-head result was 2-0 in PartinG's favor. That's already a clear sign, and numbers don't lie usually. But PartinG, he hasn't looked invincible, so...
And he's got a little bit of a hangover.
So, if Showtime can perform and play as well as he does on his best day, then there is a chance.
Okay, so no answer from either of you. Ben, who do you think's going to win?
I'm going to be straightforward. I think it's going to be PartinG, but I think it's going to be insanely close.
You don't want to sit on that, do you?
Not anymore. But yeah, I think it's going to be insanely close between these two. Like, Showtime played against PartinG very early in the tournament, and he was still getting a feel. He even said he didn't feel comfortable. But he's 9-1 in the last 3 series, whereas PartinG, he's been pushed to the limit by TY, and he could have literally lost 3-1 against TY.
Yeah, I like PartinG myself in this matchup. I think he's got the best chance out of anybody left here to switch things up in some way to defeat Solar. Although I guess I wouldn't mind the upset, but I'm going to actually say that I think PartinG will win this match.
I would love the upset, because then we get to see Showtime against
I want the
one more
Is there anyone who doesn't want the upset?
Sorry?
Just you.
Is there anyone who wouldn't want the upset? I mean...
What are you saying?
Just you.
I'm just saying PartinG is the clear favorite by a large margin.
Correct.
All right, so we look at this matchup then. Is there anything else left that any other things that we haven't even looked over?
Expect to see Stalkers expect to see probes, expect to see disruptors.
All right, I'm looking forward to seeing the micro. Of course, just another reminder for those of you tuning in, this is the ROCCAT Legacy of the Void Championships, $50,000 on the line. And we, of course, want to thank our sponsor, ROCCAT, for helping to put all of this together. And make sure you guys know you can compete. You can win some swag. Enter with tweets on the internet. So you can use the hashtag #SetTheRules and hashtag DHW15 to win some free gear from our sponsor putting all of this together. Maybe help your Blink Disruptor Micro, Apollo.
Maybe.
Is that the secret to beating PartinG?
That's the secret to win the series. Whoever does it the best will probably come out the lead. We saw PvPs already in this tournament, and the core of it is Stalkers mixed in with Disruptors, whether it's with a Warp Prism or not, whether it's, forcing out your opponent to use his blink so you can throw the Disruptor ball in. It's going to be a little bit all around this.
What about all the other stuff that we used to see in PvP? Is it just that much worse because of the way pylon overcharge works that we don't see the oracles, or is the fast warp prism just too much better or whatnot?
We have seen a little bit of different plays as well, besides Mass Blink Stalker and Disruptor as well. We've seen some DT openings. We've seen a little bit of Stargate here and there, although it hasn't been that successful. But in general, things like proxies, Proxy Stargate, Oracle in particular, it's way easier to defend now because of the Mothership Core being able to DPS down the Oracle so fast. Like, think of it before, you would pop the overcharge on the Nexus. Maybe you didn't have quite a bit of energy, but with the new Mothership Core, you always have the energy to deflect anything unexpected coming your way.
And with that, has pushed players to go more into Nexus first builds and builds that revolve around getting a faster expansion, which then has cut out a lot of the earlier build orders, Stargate versus Twilight, Twilight versus Robot type of triangular positions.
Yeah, better defense means longer games, and that's where the
Disruptors come in.
So pylon overcharge has had a very sweeping effect on how Protoss players are able to defend against the early game shenanigans of PvP.
Absolutely. Cheese in particular, just proxy Oracle. Used to be so common in PvP, but now we haven't really seen it all that much.
And Colossi are significantly worse now. And when you have the option, do I make a Colossi or do I make a Disruptor? It's very obvious. One can blow up a whole army in one shot.
Yeah, okay, I think that's pretty fair. We're going to take a look at the bracket as it has almost been completed. We've come so far here at the ROCCAT Legacy of the Void Championships. PartinG playing against Showtime. The winner will face off against Firecake for a chance to lose that rematch to Solar. Or Showtime could make his first challenge at the man.
Yeah, notice how 3 of the 4 players left were first place from group stages. Showtime's the only one who's had to work hard from the very beginning of the lower bracket and will continue to do so, obviously, all the way through. But there's only 3 games left. Only 3 games, 2 best of 5s and 1 best of 7.
Yep, and as you can see the rest of the schedule, we're just going to play it out, man. There's not much left to see. We're going to find out who advances on to play Firecake. We'll go straight into that series. And following that, who has the honor of second place here at the ROCCAT Legacy of the Void Championship? Because I don't think anyone's going to beat Solar.
The optimism is overwhelming.
You guys on the Showtime chain. I take the easy route and just go for Solar. So,
just you wait, little Nathanius. Just you wait.
It would be the coolest story ever, though, if Showtime would have come up like this, make such a run at a tournament like this, the first Legacy of the Void offline tournament. It starts here, but that would really be something that people would talk about for quite some time.
I think PartinG played great in the earlier series today. I think he's going to play probably better here. He mentioned that because he had a couple of drinks last night, he wasn't playing as good as he expected himself to perform. And now the effects definitely would have been worn off. So I'm expecting him to come out and to look to dominate Showtime. But I think one of the most important games now, because there definitely is doubt in Showtime going up against PartinG. He said it in the winner's interview. He said it on Twitter that this is hard. This is going to be the hardest game he's played. The rest is going to be a little bit easier because it's a better matchup for him. Game number 1, if he wins it, or at least puts up a very, very good performance, that type of confidence boost could generate momentum, which could see him destroy PartinG.
Showtime being awfully humble as usual, though. Take that, what is it called? That humbleness, what do you call it? Take that with a grain of salt. Yeah, the modesty. Take that with a grain of salt, because Showtime is a monster in every matchup.
Yes! That's what we want to hear, and that's what we want to see.
He's an animal!
He's an animal!
It's a beast!
And hopefully he delivers against PartinG. This is definitely not going to be an easy match. PartinG, one of the best. One of the best.
Suddenly, I'm hoping for those growls. We are loading into the game. It's time to kick off this series, find out who plays against Firecake in the loser bracket final. Apollo, Mr. Muslim, take it away.
Thank you very much, Nathanias. One Protoss to carry through for the rest of the tournament, and then 2 Zergs left ahead. Up here to the top of Orbital Shipyard, spawning in as the red Protoss player. It is PartinG. Played in 1 DreamHack before, and he went straight to the top and won it all earlier on this year. And this is his 2nd tournament. And then down here to the bottom as the blue Protoss player, it is Showtime, who's had a remarkable tournament so far. Started off, if you're just tuning in on day 3, with a 0-2. Lost 2 games in a row in group stages to win back-to-back-to-back games to get out groups with 3 wins and 2 losses, and to keep his win streak going.
Yes, that's a pretty good point you make. Since those first 2 losses, he's not lost. He's not lost since then, and a 9-1 record in the last few ZVZs as well. It's an amazing record to have, so it's not as if he's going to be feeling unconfident here. And
no.
Wow, both players opting to go for that Nexus first in the back of their base.
And this is exactly what we talked about with Snoot, is that a lot of these early rushes are difficult to pull off. I mean, this map as well, because that base is behind and in a safe location, it pushes these types of plays, which means we are going into the mid-game pretty early on.
It's so unusual to see in a PvP, Protoss actually making a Nexus first.
Yes.
I remember the last time I saw this, it was Oz trying it, I think, in fact, against PartinG, and he got absolutely wrecked. So the fact that it is becoming a normality, man, it's kind of cool to see how PvP is evolving.
And now both players, with their respective scouts in each other's base, are going to know that nothing early on is going to be coming their way, which will allow them to be slightly greedy. The one difference between both of them is that now PartinG has seen that Showtime has opened up with a double gateway, so there could be Chrono Boost thrown in to these gateways to be a little bit of an aggressor, but there really shouldn't be anything happening for the next few moments here as they do push themselves to the later parts.
Insanely similar builds by these players, besides the fact that, yes, Showtime is going for a 2nd gateway, so what's he planning to do with that? If you do have more units than your opponent early game, obviously you have map control, but working up against Pylon Overcharge, you can't really deal any damage with it, at least not significantly, so I'm curious as to how he's going to be using that.
And PartinG does check the gateways to see if they're being chrono boosted or not, see if units are on his way, and they are not. A single Stalker and single Zealot are the 2 units of choice here for Showtime.
Well, an Adept and a Stalker, and I'm kind of curious. Whenever people go for double gateway, usually it's either 2 Stalkers or 2 Adepts. Now going 1 of each. Wonder if he's just going to try and run the Shade right into his opponent's base and just try and get a scout off.
Perhaps indeed, was PartinG has thrown down the Twilight Council inside his main base. 2 branches where he could go down Blink or DTs. Blink is usually the more common, but definitely not unheard of to go Dark Templar. We've seen some instant wins because of it in this very tournament.
Still, a tech path has not been chosen by Showtime just yet, and he will be following up with the Twilight Council. So both these players going for the Twilight Council tech.
And Showtime's got a probe inside his opponent's base here. He hit it around the 3rd base. He walks in, he sees the Twilight Council, he sees the Chrono Boost into the Blink, or at least a Chrono Boost into an upgrade. And that is a very good scout here, which means he will not need necessarily to throw away this attempt completely.
Just send the Shade in anyhow.
It looks like he's going to have a look anyway. It's blocked off.
That was neat by PartinG. The only way to stop those Shades is with building. So the fact that he just put that down right there and then, that was very cute play by him. But he did already get scouted, so it isn't the be-all and end-all.
Yeah, and he's gone for a Twilight Council of his own robotics facility just behind it in case this was a Dark Templar build from PartinG, but it is Blink and an additional 2nd and 3rd gateway with the robotics facility too.
Look how he's leaving that probe there. He's using it like a depot, as if he just wants to keep raising a depot, but instead raising a pylon just momentarily, just to stop scouting. And let's see how fast he is to react here, because you have to be incredibly fast and nimble on your minimap with your eyes. But it doesn't look like he will have to be. That Shade is not destined to go in that base.
So both players lining up towards clearly Blink Stalkers, and more than likely Disruptor play with the robotics bay. More than likely going to be the next unit, more structure to come down.
PartinG's making the moves here with this insanely fast 3rd, and Showtime, wow.
Good scout, very good scout.
Yeah, he scouts that just as it starts, so will he be able to take advantage of that?
Well, he's throwing down his own Nexus, so...
Just going for the mirror play here. Very confident.
Yeah, and PartinG's the player who's in the dark because he does not have an Adept early on. And he does not know about this third from Showtime yet.
He's so adamant about using this Adept. Just every time that Shade's on cooldown, just scouting with it. And that's such good play. If you do have an Adept on the field, why not just have a free scout every 11 or 12 seconds?
And another one going to go through. Checking out the army composition. Sees 2 pylons at the front here.
Very persistent. So he knows that he can't really put on the pressure at the front there. And if he does, he's against 2 pylon overcharges. So yeah, why not just sit back, just play confident. Getting Immortals out at this point, but he is going up to that Disruptor tech by the looks of it.
PartinG, 3 additional Stalkers, 3 additional Gateways, starting to climb up his army supply. Has stopped probe production for the time being. Warp Prism has been added on. Starting to feel like we could see PartinG move out shortly.
If PartinG does move out though, and it fails, Showtime's getting a significant probe lead here. And now PartinG's trying to get those probes started.
And he gets rid of the Adept. Robotics Bay now put down for Showtime. A observer from PartinG sees Showtime Stalkers in the middle of the map.
This is worrisome because PartinG has a much higher Stalker count. So
very careful here.
I'm wondering what Showtime hopes to gather with these Stalkers on the field. He does get caught. Looks like he will be getting away though. Hopefully not suffering any unnecessary losses here.
Oh, he should be totally fine as he retreats back home. He's got the Robotics Bay finished up. He's got a faster forge. He's got the gases on the 3rd base earlier and just everything a little bit faster. PartinG has slightly more Stalkers, but there is an Immortal here, which is going to be a no-go for PartinG to attack into.
Yeah, Showtime's build just looks a little bit cleaner here. He's got an 8-worker lead, a faster Disruptor. He's going to be going for upgrades earlier than his opponent
Oh,
too.
there's another warping of Stalkers here.
That Immortal, that's quite a healthy unit there. And PartinG does take it out, only suffering 1 Stalker loss thus far.
But PartinG has no high ground vision. He's starting to climb more and more Stalkers up this ramp. But we're about to see pylons, the Ballistic Cores in position, and also a Disruptor just popped out. So this shouldn't do that much damage. There's an Observer, I think, that's going to allow a blink into the main base.
Oh, he's actually used his blink now. This Disruptor shot could be crucial, but no, just deals self-harm damage there.
And just a little bit of harassment coming in, takes down a pylon, turns 2 gateways off.
And let's see, will that Disruptor be able to line this up? Because these Stalkers are eventually going to have to escape this base, and they do get away scot-free. 124 supply now against the 100 level of Showtime. Showtime has a lot of resources to spend, but this is just PartinG taking pretty decent trades again and again.
And it's more Stalkers for PartinG. He keeps the pressure up, going to take down 1 pylon at the front.
That Disruptor,
a big mistake from Showtime.
Miscontrolling there, the Disruptor wandered forward. And now PartinG is just slowly making Showtime make mistakes here.
But Showtime just has to survive. He's got a better upgrade, he's got better infrastructure, but he loses a Stalker for free, and PartinG keeps the pressure on. He's got a Warp Prism ready to load into the back bases as well. Great play coming out from PartinG, but there is Stalkers and a cannon waiting for this type of move.
Yeah, he's ready for it. Even blinks on, dealing extra hull damage to that Warp Prism. Now,
2 Immortals coming out. There's 2 robotics facilities for Showtime, and he's looking like he's holding on. So he's going to be able to maintain an upgrade advantage, a better army composition advantage as well.
It just feels like PartinG's managing to get little leads here. He's being aggressive. Should he be able to be this aggressive against Showtime? And he's microing so well. You can really see that PartinG's Stalker micro. And again, just taking a trade there.
And Stark trying behind this for PartinG coming in.
I love this. He's already got a Warp Prism on the field, and Warp Prism makes DTs appear absolutely anywhere they want to be, so I like that choice by him. Double Disruptor could potentially be in the making too for PartinG now, as the robotics facility did finish. Even getting the Warp Prism speed here, he's going to be really, really dangerous very, very soon. In fact, they're both producing double Disruptor at this point in time, so it's going to get super hectic here. No way you can engage against those 4 Immortals, though. At least not head-on. Just going to try and pick off what Stalker he can.
And good drop here by PartinG, getting into the probe line.
A huge warp in to defend, but damage already being done. And this Warp Prism, is he safe down there? It doesn't look like he is. Still getting some shots on, but... another Disruptor falls, but he's going to lose quite a few Stalkers for that trade. Was it worth it? I don't believe so. In Showtime,
I don't think so, and he's got that +2 attack advantage. He's got rid of the Warp Prism as well. So things are looking pretty good for Showtime. Great defense against the aggressive Protoss PartinG's playing in this game.
Yeah, even though PartinG's been showing some superior micro and he's been the one being active, it feels like Showtime's build is just genuinely cleaner.
Yeah. I mean, PartinG invested so much and delayed so much of his upgrades and infrastructure to build up a bigger Stalker army, and couldn't capitalize with it at the right time. Showtime held on. A lot of these Stalkers are low in hit points, and now Showtime powering up. That is a beefy army. He's got a fourth base behind this as well, so he's keeping up with the economy of PartinG. And in a moment, we are going to see explosions.
They are so incredibly close, though. 180 supply against 170. The only difference is Showtime's added in Immortals as well, so his standard standing army is just a little bit more stocky, but he does have way less disruptors as well. And if those Immortals get caught by those disruptors, they're in serious trouble because they can't do what the Stalkers can by blinking away.
And he does retreat. +3 attack starts now. A Stargate down for Showtime as well as more disruptor play.
Oh, PartinG's so proactive here.
Oh, he blinks just out of that one.
And I believe he did get the disruptor kill as well.
Oh! Big hit there by Showtime.
Taking out the disruptors of his opponent here. This is where things get... Oh my God!
PartinG playing forward, he jumps into the disruptor. This is a lock Showtime. He goes forward and he's going to attack right into this. And this is a convincing fight for Showtime. The mistake from PartinG, and Showtime on top of it. And he's going for the victory. And this very well may end just like that.
Oh my gosh, those were some great disruptor hits. Not only did his initial disruptor kill a good few of PartinG's, PartinG didn't kill the disruptor in time, and all his Stalkers that blinked forward blew up into smithereens.
Wow, PartinG is 70 supply behind just in an instant. The game has turned drastically in favor of Showtime, and he knows it, he smells weakness, and he is coming for map #1 victory against the favorite here. He's poking at this wall, and this is the location that PartinG has to defend, but I don't think he has the tools necessary to do so.
No, his army is dwindling in comparison to Showtime. Showtime still with a significant lead, throwing out disruptor balls where he can, but he's being very, very patient here. His Immortal's so strong, takes out a lot of Zealots there too.
And if this Nexus goes down to Muslim, this game is going to end. This is a big moment for PartinG. He's trying to muster as many forces together as he can. He's got Photon Overcharge on pylons, he's got a disruptor of his own. Showtime checking in case there's a fifth up there, which he knows is not now.
I don't believe the DT's really dealt much damage either, as Showtime still has quite the probe lead here. He's getting the upgrade lead too, or rather carrying on with his upgrade lead by getting level 3 weapons here. And now PartinG can somewhat hold on with a few disruptors of his own, but for how long?
Showtime, being the patient player that we all know, is slowly taking this and playing this one out. He's not rushing it. He's got his fourth down. He's got some Stalkers to harass, waiting for his +3.
Tempest?
Adding in the additional units of the Tempest to his composition.
How do you see the Tempest being used?
He's just going to zone out this army, right? He's going to just chip away.
Slowly chip away. I mean, if you can use them to volley down the disruptors as well, possibly, that'd be nice. Right now, it's so hard to engage your opponent. Every time you engage and run into him, the disruptor balls just fly at you. But here, Showtime, he's giving PartinG real opportunity here to get back into the game. And while he's trying to cement his advantage by getting Tempest, I'm not sure I agree with this.
Well, he's going to take the gold base. He's putting cannons absolutely everywhere in case there is a Dark Templar backstab.
Smart moves, smart moves.
And just waiting for the perfect opportunity to strike. He's almost maxed out, so he'll wait for his last couple of Tempests and then build together his forces and look to strike.
PartinG here. Also, despite being under great pressure and being considerably behind, he's still finding a way to put up a fifth.
Even if Showtime is in such a big lead, if we see the correct disruptor hits come out from PartinG to blow up this army, the game changes instantly.
It certainly does. They both have to be incredibly careful. Even if you are ahead in this matchup, all it takes is one disruptor hit. But as time's gone on, Showtime was 70 supply ahead, and he didn't manage to find a way to kill his opponent. And now PartinG just managing to find a way to edge back into this game.
I don't know how PartinG's going to get back into this. I think it all relies on the disruptor hits. Can he get some good volleys onto this army? We're about to find out. 3 go forward. He gets a little bit of damage. Oh, another great hit from Showtime. Hits 2 and blows up 2 disruptors.
For every shot of Showtime, it deals damage, whereas PartinG is seemingly spamming quite a few of them out and they're not really getting much damage done.
Again, it's all on the disruptor hits. PartinG keeping up though. He's got +3 attack on the way. He's got a 5th base as well.
Quite the number of observers in that armada for sure. Making sure that he snipes every observer he can with those Tempests. But we'll see what happens here. Even an Oracle, I guess that's just to tag that army for vision here. And wow, what a revelation.
Yeah, using the high ground to his advantage there. Pokes down, stamps the army, gets back out again.
And these Tempests, yeah, they're just doing what you said they would. They're etching at that army.
And takes down one, and that's gonna get a disruptor. I think it was just Stalkers, perhaps.
Whatever it got, it was damage being done. There is dead Protoss on the floor. Now they're both very equal in supply, and now it's a game of tennis. And here he's using the Tempest to snipe down the disruptors. And if you try and blink forward, the Tempests are making sense. If you try and blink forward and take out these Tempests, you're in danger of getting hit by a disruptor ball. So it totally makes sense.
The zoning of these Tempests are so critical in this game at the moment. And PartinG just can't really engage. He's consistently taking damage, no matter how big or how small it is. And here's another good volley coming in.
Oh lord, they have to be so careful here.
Yeah.
Neither one can really engage. Feels like the first player to engage is the first player to lose. But as time goes on, Showtime's the one with a massive bank here. Over 3,000 minerals and 2,000 gas.
Tempest just continue to get small amounts of damage done. Shields down here, unit taken out over there. And that's exactly what he needs to do at the moment.
How on earth is Showtime meant to deal enough damage to really break through here? It feels like both players are just waiting for the other to just make that mistake and moving too far forward. Although Showtime's gained a lot of ground here. He's very close to the fifth.
All right, this may be the fight that we're going to see.
Oh,
another great hit by Showtime. And PartinG has taken way too many of those. It's Showtime that's dodged them and also managed to land every one, or critical one in this game has been in favor of Showtime. And again, he keeps poking forward, keeps pressuring PartinG. If we see this high ground taken by Showtime, that unlocks the fifth base of PartinG. That's where the game is going to heavily swing, more so in favor of Showtime.
These disruptor shots. Oh man, everyone's so close to dealing damage, but Showtime, he's figured out how far he can actually stay away against these, almost to the inch. That's a lot of disruptors, very exposed there. Oh, takes out a good couple of them. And the Tempest now, they're up to a number where they can almost one-shot these 10-4 Stalkers.
Slowly but surely. Keep on chipping away. He's getting up towards this ramp, which ideally he needs to be or would like to be. And then he can turn his attention towards that Nexus with a couple of volleys. Oh, great hit onto that Disruptor. Cannons everywhere to protect the back bases against harassment.
There's so many cannons there from Showtime.
All right, now he's found it, and this is going to be a big lack of mining. But what is PartinG going to do about it?
Is he just trying to bypass this army? What's he trying to do? Oh my, oh wow.
PartinG's just, he's taking too many hits from these.
Certainly is, and these Tempests are slowly whittling him down. And what is PartinG's answer to this besides making just more and more Stalkers and more Disruptors? It doesn't feel like he's got the grasp on this like Showtime has, but we're all saying this, but he's still got 200 supply.
He's got 200 supply, but he keeps on spending his money where Showtime isn't, because Showtime just isn't losing anything. So there's a 6,000 mineral and 3,000 gas bank for Showtime.
Wow, aggressive blink there by PartinG. Will he be able to kill this gold base in time? This is really nice zoning by him, by the way.
Oh, he's taking a fight to the Tempest here. He's going to bring one of them down at least.
Yeah, the Tempests don't really want to fight Stalkers
27 probes were killed in that fight.
I tell you what, if PartinG's going to find a way, this is how he's going to do it. He's got to get on Showtime's side of the map and force Showtime into a path where he has to go through the Disruptors.
At this point, I feel that Showtime might want to send Zealot and DTs up around this location. He's got the Dark Shrine, obviously he's got Zealots.
And there's no defensive cannons.
There's no defense up there at all. And I don't think he needs to keep powering up his main army. I think it's already strong enough as it is.
I think you're totally right. Dark Shrine at this point in time would pay to great effect. These Tempests, though, they've been a really good touch. The resources lost tab must be heavily... Yeah, look at that. And this is a mirror matchup. Oh, the DTs. Wow, PartinG. He's been losing very slowly in all these engagements, but he's managing to find a way to hurt Showtime's economy significantly, taking out 2 bases here now and a good 30 or so probes.
Showtime's got to be careful. As you said, I mean, it's the fights are going in Showtime's favor, but the actual damage, somehow PartinG's finding a way to deal it. But here we go. Showtime's finally getting some harassment done himself. He's got 4 Dark Templars on that second.
If he knew about that far right base as well.
Yeah, there'd be units over there as well.
There'd be units over there. He's going to kill the Dark Shrine of his opponent here. Smart move.
And he moves up towards this Nexus again. He's going to blink forward and take this out. I'm surprised he didn't get it a little bit earlier on, but there's a loose Tempest here that PartinG's going to take down.
I love the fact that PartinG didn't just rapidly blink under that Tempest as what lies beneath. There could be a Disruptor Ball waiting for him.
Absolutely. 25 probes taken down by Showtime up the north. He takes to the Nexus for himself.
What a high-level PvP here. Both players so careful, so patient, and we can't blame them for it.
I mean, both players know a good couple of Disruptor hits changes the game completely.
Absolutely. And these Tempests, man, I can't believe I questioned the decision. Showtime's used them so well, so good.
Seems very, well, it is very hard for both to engage.
Boom! War Prism down, and DT's leading the charge here for Showtime.
Keeps on chasing. PartinG always running away from this army. A couple of Disruptors at the back though. A blink forward, one goes down. Is he going to get just one?
I love the fact he only did it with a portion of his Stalkers too. If he did overcommit there, that could have been a lot of dead Stalkers. But PartinG, he's doing it again. He's getting into Showtime's side of the map, and now you can't advance very quickly after your opponent because the Disruptors are going to slow you down. So I love the way that PartinG's trying to position this. Is he slow? Is he going to give away his position here of this base? No, not yet. That's a really big deal. Oh.
Couple more Stalkers. And this game for the last 10 minutes has just been back and forth with these Disruptors.
Oh
Another
my
great
gosh.
hit.
That was 50 supply in one shot. Losing a Disruptor, but totally worth it at this point in time. But now, mining definitely cut low for both players.
40 supply difference between the both of them.
The
And
Oracle.
another tag from the Oracle, so now he sees this entire army. Tempest going to be able to fire down onto them.
Constantly dodging. There's no headway really being made here.
And again, a push forward from Showtime, looking to see if he can find victory in map number 1. A turnaround from the Disruptors. A couple of PartinG's ones do get.
Those were like the first real shots that Showtime let happen to him. Besides that, it's been absolutely meticulous. But here, both dancing with each other, both just shooting at each other, trying to deal what damage they can, but neither one can truly commit.
They can't commit. This is a stalemate almost between these two, looking to get the big shots off. But look at the probe. Oh, sorry, the bank difference. 2,000 minerals for Showtime is such a nice bank to have compared to PartinG, who's really struggling to get back to where he was before in that 200 supply.
Yeah, Showtime's done a really good job of just maintaining a lead, because it's insanely hard to do that when you can't actually kill your opponent. But he's managed to keep a lead anyhow, and these Tempests have slowly done their job.
Yeah, he's chipping away again, and PartinG might be getting a little bit frustrated with this. He goes forward, and he's just going to take the fight.
Oh my god,
and that is
oh
it.
my lord, those disruptive
That
shots.
is it. GG. Showtime takes game number 1 against PartinG. And at the end there, PartinG almost surrendered, knowing that this was not going his way. And he just takes the fight and instantly loses. Game 1 Showtime.
PvP is quite a bit different, eh?
Reminds me of an old matchup. Not PvP though.
Maybe
not this game.
Maybe some swarm hosting going down.
Reminds me a little bit of that. Let's be honest, it's a little similar. But that's the kind of confidence game which I talked about in the pre-game, which can really help Showtime tackle such a player.
Yeah, and we've seen that PartinG is not indomitable. Never mind in general, but like in this matchup, he lost a map to Probe. He lost a map to Huck.
Yep.
So, and now he's lost a map to Showtime. So Showtime, he's on a roll, man. He's now
got this
10 to
winning
1.
streak just going through, no matter who he plays against. And I definitely, for me, at least questioned whether he'd be good enough in PvP like he is in Protoss versus Zerg to go up against PartinG. But I think he showed a very good understanding of the matchup. The opening build was solid. His defense was great against the way PartinG heavily invested into Stalkers in the mid game. And overall, he knew exactly the composition to go for and how to approach the later stages of the game.
It certainly did. And man, the way that he handled his army. Look at that. That's the real shot that managed to get Showtime a significant lead. And even there, the aggressive blink forward just killed the disruption time that could have really decimated his army.
And this is where the game heavily swung in favor of Showtime.
Yeah, I think by the end of this engagement, Showtime somewhere around 170 supply against just the mere 100 of PartinG. So great engagement by him. But I'm wondering why he didn't close out right there and then. But
he felt like he couldn't.
The answer, yeah, the real answer there is our reaction being shown. Because yeah, those disruptor shots were wild. But
I looked at that and I was like, wait a minute, I'm not sitting down.
Yeah, I was kind of curious there too. I was like, well, I was sat down just then as that was happening. But yeah, Showtime, just great understanding of the matchup. And he's been known in Europe for having really solid PvP, actually.
And it's translated very well into Legacy of the Void as well. That was a great performance. And now what are we going to see that changes the momentum swing in favor of PartinG loading into game number 2? PartinG losing here, I know that is not where he set his personal goal. It's obviously looking at a rematch versus Solar. So we'll see if he can tackle the German, who has got a lot of hype around him at the moment, as he goes into Dusk Towers, map 2 between these two.
And spawning as the red Protoss in the bottom left side. Currently 0-1 down, it is PartinG. And spawning on the other side, as our blue Protoss, the German hope, the EPS champion, it is Showtime.
Pipe.
The floating hand.
The hover hand. The keyboard hover hand. All right.
Obviously working out for him.
But look, PartinG has decided to change it up. The Muslim, he's got a pylon on the other side of the map, and we know that Nexus First is very common. PartinG looking to punish that choice of build order.
You know, I like this from PartinG. Given that he just played a really long macro game with his opponent, and now he's like, man, this guy, he might play the late game better than I do.
Uh-oh. No, is he going to scout after this gateway? Gateway down.
Where's he going? Where's he going?
He's not going to check it. He's not going to check it.
And that's 3 gateways going down.
He's not checking it.
Outside his base.
I don't think this is possible to hold. I don't know. I actually don't know. Like, he doesn't have anything. He can go straight up there with Zealots, kill the pylon, turn the gateway off. That's it.
That's it. And he's even getting a gas behind this, so there is a follow-up. Cybernetics core possibly, then getting Adepts. I mean, it doesn't get much easier.
Well, Showtime now is going to enter the main base and sees, wait a minute, there's no pylon. Hold on a minute. Uh-oh, I think I know what's happening. And all of a sudden, now he needs to prepare. I don't know exactly what that preparation is.
Oh, I love the fact that he walled this off here.
Okay, so Zealots are on the way.
And now with the new Chrono Boost, by the way, you can't actually Chrono Boost more than 1 gateway at a time. So this has definitely lost some of its potency.
And how is he going to deal with this? He's trying to complete the wall and a secondary wall. He knows that Zealots are going to be up for in a second. Cybernetics core not too far away from finishing.
But man, these Zealots deal a lot of damage here.
They are. That's going down incredibly fast.
You think he's just going to keep his Zealots on his side?
Yes, yeah, you have to, yeah.
Saving them up.
Well, here's the Cybernetics core done. The Mothership core starts immediately. Cybernetics core is being targeted. The surface area for 3 units. He's getting Stalker as well, is on the way.
What do you think about that? Stalker's over Adepts at this point in time? Adepts deal 23 damage or 22 damage a hit to Zealots. I mean, before it dies, he should try and whip out another tech unit here.
He's trying to complete the wall off, and the Mothership core's out, which means he can overcharge.
He can overcharge. But the Zealots, are they going to go in? They're just going to go for the pylon here.
He's going for the pylon. Stalker's in here as well.
Oh, 2 pylon overcharges. That's a lot of damage being done. This is a nice wall off too by Showtime.
Crazy what he's pulling off.
Is he going to manage to hold this?
Yes.
I mean, his Cyber Core died though. It's going to be Stalkers on the field, and he doesn't have any.
What?
He has 1 Stalker. He has 1 Stalker out. Now he can produce Stalkers again. But he's out of Photon Overcharge, at least for the time being.
Stalker doing damage here. The Zealots down in it. There's another Photon Overcharge pushing this back again for now. But he's only got surface area just inside this position.
Oh, now Adepts can start dealing damage, and Stalkers and Motherships cores don't really deal a lot of damage to those. So PartinG, he's all over Showtime.
Yeah, this is not over yet. That Mothership core needs some more energy. And so far, this has been a really good hold, but it's starting to crumble as PartinG's found his way in.
Oh man, and that Adept is getting probe kills here. Showtime's actually behind in the probe count, and PartinG's army is inside the base. There are no defensive pylons behind here.
He's pulling all his probes off. He knows he's in a lot of trouble at this point, and this is looking terrible as 3 Adepts at a time continue to enter the base of Showtime. He's down in workers, he's down in army, and it looked like this could possibly be a hold, but it is not looking like that anymore.
And man, what a build to pull out too. When he knows his opponent went Nexus first in the first game, anticipated it happening again, and just goes for a quick win after losing a long drawn-out game like the one before.
Stalker can't go down, that's the only hope if he keeps all these Stalkers alive. There's a 4th one about to join in as well.
Oh, but look at these probes. They're just getting mowed down by these Adepts, and he's down to 5 probes now. Yeah,
and to be honest, PartinG could even switch over to Stalkers of his own. And already losing the Stalkers down in the snatches. 14 supply to 41. PartinG pulls out a great build order choice. GG gains 1-1.
It looked possible for a while that he might be able to hold that, but with the Cybernetics score going down as early as it did, couldn't really back it up. And running out of pylon overcharge there, man, that was a really good choice of build by PartinG.
A good choice by PartinG and a good reminder for both of them, to be honest, that with these types of Nexus first builds, you have to be scouting around the natural, just like you did in Heart of the Swarm. Otherwise, builds like this are going to have an easier time against you. If Showtime had seen that a lot earlier on, perhaps it could have changed that much more different.
Yeah, and we saw the probe run down the ramp and just didn't bother scouting. It's as if Protoss has forgot the fact that they can be proxied in this game purely because of the new photon overcharge change, but PartinG proved him, or showed him otherwise.
He did indeed, and now it's tied up 1 apiece, and that's a good change of pace now for PartinG. If he'd gone down 0-2 and had failed with that cheese, then I think this could have been a very, very difficult series for him to come back in. But now it's 1 apiece, and here are some moments which already at this point, we're 10 probes down. You look at the numbers, you look at almost everything you can see on the screen heavily in favor of PartinG.
Not much that Showtime can do at this point in time. He's microing his little heart out here, but here's the decimation of all those probes running through units that absolutely slay light units. And at this point in time, it was already looking very grim for Showtime.
And I think he tried to cut off the reinforcements, but even by then he started to lose way too much. And now PartinG is back in it.
And again, I have to talk about how much I love that. The fact that the first game was so close and went on for so long as well. And then PartinG, so Showtime really had to fight for that win. Despite being ahead for a long time in the game, he had to fight for it, whereas PartinG pulled himself right back into the series in literally 4 minutes, tying it up.
Well, our next map is going to be Prion Terraces, the gold base map, which we're all starting to get very familiar with and has created some of the best games at this tournament so far, funny enough.
Certainly has. I like that you refer to it as the gold base map, given that your 3rd and 4th are golds. Now, spawning in the bottom right, currently 1-1 in this series, it is PartinG.
And his opponent. A huge result so far. Can he keep going up here to the top left as the blue Protoss player? It's Showtime, who is playing better than we've seen him play in a long time. And Legacy of the Void, as he said, it suits his playstyle, it suits his game, and we are seeing the results of that at this very tournament.
Now we're seeing him change it up a little bit. After getting proxy gatewayed, he is going for a much more standard, more safe build here, but PartinG, he's a series player. He's a player that's been a champion time and time again. After doing one of the ballsiest cheeses I've seen in quite some time, he then resorts back to the macro play, one of the greediest builds you can do in this matchup.
And even checks for proxies himself to the north.
And upon scouting this too, Showtime's going to be like, man, this guy
knows how to play the mind games. In terms of predictions on what your opponent can do, this has worked out better for PartinG. But Showtime does with a faster gateway, therefore will have a faster cybernetics core, which he could use to his advantage if he's able to get out some form of tech a little bit faster to surprise PartinG before PartinG is ready to defend. And PartinG's going to steal a gas as well.
Wow.
Limiting the options for Showtime.
That is cheeky. It also grants vision, I suppose, but
Yeah.
I mean, he's going to have his Nexus up pretty soon, so it's not going to delay him too much, but I guess you want your gases ASAP, so quite annoying by PartinG here. Now, Showtime obviously working with a slight economic deficit here, given that his Nexus is a little bit slower. He's probably going to be the one having to put on the moves a little earlier here. Though, he must be feeling comfortable given that once the game reaches the end game, the mid game even, when you get disruptors, he seemed to be handling himself very, very well there. Oh, look how cheeky this is, by the way. Just mining out your opponent's gas and then his minerals a little bit extra. That's just taunting.
It is indeed. And he's going to return back very shortly. A quick look at the natural. We'll see the second gas from Showtime on the second base instead of inside the main. And in a moment, we are going to start to see a couple of choices by these players. Now that their gas is floating to the appropriate amount, with the cybernetics core completed, a new tech is unleashed. And we see a choice by Showtime to pylon at the very south position. And I think we're going to see more than likely a Stargate put down. But what is this?
Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? This is ridiculous. Sixth Sense. Like, in Heart of the Swarm, you saw players walk around with their stalkers early on in the game, but he literally pointed right at that spot. That is incredible, and look at this.
He finds the Stargate. Great scout there by PartinG, and unfortunately, Showtime's plan has been spoiled.
You know, when you go for something like this, where you proxy anything on the map and it gets scouted pretty early on, that just makes you sink in your chair. He even cancels it.
He cancels it.
Goes for a robo now in his base. Loses the probe on the way back too.
PartinG getting lots of small wins in this game already, from the very opening build order to stealing the gas, to scouting out his opponent's Stargate, which is now delayed Showtime drastically with his game plan overall. He's had to go to plan B, to plan C. And PartinG just steamrolling ahead. He's got Blink on the way with additional gateways to start to build up that Stalker count. And now both players with the robotics facility also.
Stalkers moving out across the map here. They are PartinG's. And, you know, despite the Nexus first from PartinG, he's managed to fall a little bit behind here on the probe count. And that just makes me think Showtime's so mechanically and macroly good in this game. And he's shown that time and time again in this series that, hey, he can definitely play the macro game and he's very confident to do it, and rightly so. 3 probes ahead now, despite losing one and being behind on the Nexus.
Unfortunately here for Showtime, he's very much so in the dark. His opponent has a third Nexus down, the gold base. And Showtime has no idea what's going on at this moment.
That is incredibly ballsy.
There's no sentry, there's no hallucinated Phoenix possible.
Yeah, sentries have pretty much become redundant in this matchup, it feels.
Yeah,
like, what do you need force fields for when disruptor balls can bypass them and you can blink over them? But this could be a nice move out from Showtime. In fact, it's just going to ward off those stalkers. Stay away from my base.
There is an observer in the middle of the map, which is the only scouting that Showtime has currently to try to figure out where he is. The longer this game goes in his current state, the further behind he falls because of how fast this Nexus is. But there is an observer from PartinG in the middle. It has Showtime's observer dodged it. And now we'll see the Nexus. So Showtime knows, okay, my opponent's taking this fast third.
He sees it isn't mining though, so he knows he has a bit of a time window. Yeah. And we saw this last time actually. Both players took a third. PartinG's was not as early as this in game 1. But Showtime, look, he's not worried. He's very comfortable.
PartinG starting to build up a decent Stalker count here, Demoz. I'm getting a little bit worried for Showtime. This is increasing. It's very similar to how he played in the previous game, where he'll be looking to maybe overpower this gold base of his opponent. And Immortal is here. And again, Showtime has a lot of later stuff which will help him if he defends this position. The robotics play faster, gets faster disruptors, +1 attack is earlier. So there's things that will help him later, but right now he needs to focus on not dying versus this Stalker attack coming out. Do we have sufficient enough pylons here to protect?
I'm not sure we do, though. This is
There's no blink as well, remember, for Showtime. It's not ready yet.
Oh, no blink either? And look, the Immortal's taken significant damage here, but nice micro despite not having blink. He's the one to not lose a Stalker here in this engagement.
19 Stalkers to 12. There is 2 Immortals. Photon Overcharge is activated on a pylon, a second pylon coming in, and this is PartinG's window to get damage done. Well, he has a high Stalker count. He lost in this very style in game number 1. Will he make it succeed in game number 2? It looks like he's not investing too much, though. He's backed off a little bit. Forge is coming down. Robotics Bay is there also.
It's so hard to kill Showtime, despite having a way, like despite having a later natural, a later third, he still keeps up in army supply. It's not as if he's making mistakes here, but this is something that could definitely get damage done.
In game 1, again, Showtime defended it with Stalkers in the main. Does he have anything there this time? He's even thinking about the possibility of the Warp Prism swinging around.
This Warp Prism is going to get in this
could
base.
do a lot of damage to the probe line.
Yeah, if you leave that unwatched, unkept, it's going to deal a lot of damage to you. And if he distracts him at the front for long enough, but where's a portion of Showtime's army going? He's only chasing with Stalkers
the
here.
The drop is ready. There's the Mothership course in Stalkers as well.
Wow, he's got Stalkers on the Warp Prism.
He can chase this and he's gone.
Whoa, that could have been huge there. Getting rid of that Warp Prism would have meant that he could solely focus on the front, making his life a hell of a lot easier, given that he is the one with Disruptors now.
Very good defense from Showtime, and PartinG again invested in doing damage at this stage of the game, and it didn't work. And now we have an advantage in the upgrades, advantage in the quality of army that Showtime now possesses. And PartinG, with his lead, decided to push his lead in this angle, and it hasn't paid off again. This is pretty big.
This is huge, and one of the most important things is they're getting to a point in the game in which Showtime was 10 times more comfortable with him, quite rightly so, because he knew exactly what to do and how to engage and how to move. Oh man, every time I see a disruptor ball now, I gasp. Here though, PartinG taking a 4th base, falling behind in supply.
Yeah, this army is pretty big at the moment for Showtime. He's continuing to add on disruptors, he's continuing to add on more units, he's got a couple of gateways finishing up to keep on boosting away. And Showtime's defense throughout this series, you know, I guess we can forget about game number 2, but apart from that, has been looking absolutely spectacular. And he pushes forward now, he gets a free Stalker or 2.
Oh, he blinked, now he loses a lot of Stalkers. Oh, and what a nice save on that Disruptor too, whether it was going to get hit or not.
The forward blink curse is real.
You know, forward aggressive blinks have always caused Protoss problems, but now they cause them serious problems.
You get punished very hard by these disruptors if you make a mistake with those type of blinks.
That was a really nice bait by PartinG, though. I don't know how many Stalkers fell, but that is the one worry. I can tell you, as soon as he blinked there, he was already biting his lip.
And it's time for the game of tennis again.
Ooh. So we begin. Who is Federer? Who is Nadal?
Whoa, big blink forward there, and it wasn't punished, and he almost brought down a disruptor. He gets a Stalker for his trouble there, PartinG.
That's so brave. How can he dare to blink into a guy with 7 or so disruptors on the field? PartinG's just so confident.
And again, it really comes down to who can get the better disruptor hits will heavily tilt the game in favor of whoever does.
Army supply so close here. PartinG slowly climbing ahead with in regards to resources, but the 4th of Showtime is now finished too, so will that lead last long? Probably not.
And Showtime again with the faster Stargate faster +3. And
Whoa,
big hit there by PartinG, takes down a disruptor or 2.
Man, these disruptor shots dealing. Losing one of his own here, but the Nexus is exposed now.
And PartinG, if he breaks this location.
These disruptor shots, man. Oh! Showtime! Getting damage done.
This game is just so intense with these shots. Every single one matters, and it's completely back and forth to who actually gets a good hit or not.
I think he did a lot of self-damage there with one of the disruptor shots, actually. But
Showtime has to defend this location.
Oh, my Lord. But he sacrificed the 4th. PartinG's actually pushed him back, and he got into a position where he got his disruptors far enough forward that he could really pressure him with the disruptor balls.
That's a big win there by PartinG. It's 4 base versus 3. Income heavily in favor now of the Korean as Showtime looks to push forward, but gets denied by a disruptor again.
Unit lost tab very close here, both losing only a couple of units within each other. But PartinG, as you said, he is the one with better economy, but disruptors.
Mistake there from PartinG, but Showtime didn't want to blink forward to punish, but that time he didn't. He takes down 2 disruptors for free.
Yikes,
Is he going to get out?
Oh, the second disruptor ball didn't get the shot that was necessary, but whoa, damage being done everywhere.
This game is absolutely bizarre.
What is going on?
This game, what is happening here?
Are you kidding me? That is so many Stalkers falling. Every time I think one player gets a lead, the other player sends off the disruptor ball of a lifetime.
And now they back off, and both of them in a very similar position in terms of supply. A little bit further income for PartinG because of this third base or fourth base lead. But this +3 attack is about to complete now for Showtime. He's got that Stargate and Fleet Beacon now on its way. So he's going up towards his Tempest. He's got a fifth base established to the north.
Leapfrogging on the Expo front. And supplies, again, so close for these players. But that Warp Prism that we almost forgot about goes in, snipes the cannon very quickly. This could actually deal some damage here.
Yeah, there's not really any preparation
What's he going
for Dark Templar.
Go for the Robo Facility. I like this move. Less disruptors on the field. Definitely something that you might want.
Yes, absolutely. I hope he's got an observer close. Yes, there it is.
Oh, is he going to get that disruptor with the DTs? Doesn't look like it, but there is damage. There's fights going on everywhere here.
And PartinG puts himself a little bit further in the lead. That Warp Prism's still alive.
Uh-oh. Oh, Lord.
Another one comes through. No hits this time for either side.
Oh, no. Oh, God. This is so close. 175 supply gates, 174. That Warp Prism, we haven't yet seen what it's getting done, but I do see a little bit of red at the top of the map. DT's warped in again, and no cannon there for the time being. That does look like it could possibly be a dead Nexus. And now PartinG climbing ahead in supply, almost at 200 here. Now, when he's ahead in the game, he didn't opt for Tempest. He just kept on making Stalkers and Disruptors. Finally, he's getting Warp Prism speed here too.
One lack of attention from either side and the game ends. That's like how this matchup is currently.
They're literally flying Baneling bombs that you can see, which makes them 10 times scarier. But they can also kill everything, not just light units. And here, PartinG is piling on the aggression again. It's a lot of disruptors. And Showtime's the one that's opting for Tempest. And despite being a little bit behind, that could definitely pull him back into this.
Yeah, I mean, we saw how effective they were in the last game. And again, PartinG zoning. Tries to get towards this gold base once again.
Oh man, what are both players supposed to do here?
Who is better at volleyball? Is it Germany or Korea? I'm not sure at the moment. And that is a big hit for Showtime onto PartinG's army. And again, both pushing forward, trying to defend and also attack this location. PartinG continues to expand around the map.
Showtime dealing some harass damage here. Stalkers don't kill buildings too quickly, so Warping will be able to deal with that, but the real fight is going on over here, and so far, PartinG can't really make any ground. Oh, can he? Yes, he can! That was a lot of disruptors falling right there.
That was a big hit. 20-30 supply down instantly. And disruptors can't blink, unfortunately. They got hit hard.
They got hit insanely hard, and with that, PartinG has to know, whoa, there's going to be way less disruptor shots flying at me, so whoa, that was some ballsy blinks going on here. And is that going to be, oh, totally missed the shot.
Yeah, gets one disruptor, but loses 2 or 3 Stalkers for it. Probably a decent trade-off, to be honest. Stalkers a lot less of the importance in these fights. But Tempest now count at 3.
Yeah, I love the fact that he goes for these Tempests, and yet again, despite being a little bit behind here, and Stalker on the high ground, going to start dealing damage to these probes.
Yeah, that's nice. That's really nice of a grab. But I can't help but feel that PartinG should use his money advantage somewhere, surprise his opponent in some way. I'm not sure what that is exactly.
Whoa, he's kind of left his disruptors without any support here. I mean, it doesn't really matter when you've got 10 of them and you can consistently fire balls, but
15 probes were killed off there.
It's certainly a lot of economic damage. Oh, getting away, losing a lot of Stalkers though.
The Stalkers misblinked here for PartinG, so they're going to be 3 kills for Showtime. Equal in army supply at the moment, despite the overall supply being heavily in favor of PartinG. That is because his income is better.
A lot less probes now for Showtime too. I'm surprised PartinG's trying to take these fights here, but sniping off observers, but he's the one that loses out there. And Showtime slowly falling behind in the resources lost tab, despite being the one with the Tempest, but that disruptor shot earlier that annihilated all his disruptors.
Well, that's what did it. Bad if that blink hadn't have happened.
Man, this is intense.
Yeah, and look at this now. PartinG using that money to get a higher Tempest count than his opponent, which is very smart to do. 3 disruptor balls, missed everything there.
Oh man, constantly dodging those disruptor shots is PartinG. And he's really, really pressuring Showtime. so hard to kill your opponent, though. So hard.
Yeah, I feel like an Oracle should have probably squeezed out by now for Showtime to get a tag onto this army so we can see it and actually hit from a bit further out with his Tempest.
That would have been smart. Though, I mean, PartinG, he's still ahead here. He really is. And the fact that he is going for Tempest of his own, I really like that move. He's almost learning from a player that he's beating here. It's not as if Showtime's playing bad. In fact, he's playing really sick too.
Yeah, they're both playing great, and just no one's made a critical mistake yet to give the other a big advantage. I mean, PartinG does lead this game currently. But wow, this is certainly one way to play the matchup.
I've never seen two Protoss players.
Another base taken down, that's a pretty big win.
They're playing so patiently against one another. And PvP, I never remember this being like this. I mean, with Colossi, when you're building up your army, you wait until you think you have a lead, then you go, go, go. Whereas now, even if you have a lead, you have to still play calm. You have to still be patient. And that is something you just can't teach. So the fact that these players are doing this and doing it so well, I'm very impressed. And Showtime, slowly over time, he's now actually got a very decent army supply together, and I actually like his army better than PartinG's at this point in time.
Well, he's pushing forward with it, and he gets a decent hit at the back there, and he's on the other side of the map with his army for the first time in a long time in this game.
You know, I'm starting to feel for PartinG here.
Yeah, these Tempests are so sick. 7 of them dealing damage time after time after time from the back to the skies.
Like, how do you deal with the Tempest? It really feels that this is one of the perfect army compositions, if not the perfect.
Oh, nice hit there for Showtime.
This feels like the be-all and end-all army. I
Yeah.
thought it was just Disruptors and Stalkers. But these Tempests, they're definitely making it happen.
Yeah, that's the biggest difference between the both of them throughout this series is the Tempest collection at the end of the game. And Showtime is showing how useful they can be, and he gets one Disruptor kill.
Bit of a shot there, and I love the fact that PartinG learned during this series, learned from his opponent and copied what he's doing. That is something you don't often get to see in RTS, but here, we're seeing new styles, new strategies evolve, and it's very obvious here which style reigns supreme.
Oh.
Backing off, cannot take down the base, no matter how hard he tries.
Yeah, he tried really difficult. I mean, he tried really hard to bring that down, but it's too difficult for him.
Slowly, bases are mining out very, very quickly here.
And PartinG is going for the mothership. Morphing his mothership core into the mothership. Cloak his army up.
Make things just a tad more difficult for his opponent, meaning that he has to have an observer to see it, so he can't necessarily use those Tempests to the effect that he wants to use them.
Oh, great tag there from PartinG. Sees all of the Tempests now and can continue to use his.
Both equally tagged up here. Now a war of the Tempests and the Disruptors, of course, coming in. That is so many observers, by the way, in PartinG's army here.
And they both have vision on each other's army as they look to chip away with the Tempest. Who's going to edge out on top through this? It's hard to say. It's very close between the both of them.
There's really nothing. Oh, wow.
That was a nice hit.
Yeah, he took out 12 supply there, so probably a good 6 Stalkers or so. 68 Stalkers lost, 64 Stalkers lost, 10 Disruptors lost, 15 lost. These numbers. Oh my God, PartinG. Dancing with death there, and still lost a good 20 supply. I feel that when they do actually have a fight,
Yes? What's going to happen?
it's going to end insanely fast. With Disruptors on the field dealing damage as fast as they do.
Yes. And both of them have to be very careful about how many Tempests are we going to see? Because eventually these guys are going to rule the game.
Eventually, you may not need any ground at all, and it switches to full-on air toss against air toss.
And it's 12-9 in favor of Showtime currently. And I think just having even one Disruptor, the thing is with Tempest, you have to blink underneath them, and one Disruptor ruins that, so...
Exactly, so...
Stalkers become redundant at that point, and then when Stalkers become redundant, so do the Disruptors.
They just base trading at this point? It looks like it.
It does, and one Tempest gets killed, and... Well, this is one way for this game to turn around and go in a more bizarre function, because what do you do in this position?
I've never seen...
A Stalker Disruptor Tempest base trade. Aiming for the air is PartinG, but look, ROCCAT
He's
sponsored
moving
legs of the World
back.
Championship is awesome. Showtime decides to turn around.
He's moving back. And I mean, he's lost a lot of his production. He lost his Stargates, actually. So once he starts losing units, he's not going to be able to get them back up very easily.
And it's 3 Tempests coming out from PartinG now.
Oh, and the Mothership Core joins the fray here too. Or rather, the Mothership.
Yeah.
It's a lot of
And
Tempests.
PartinG's finally got in more Tempest than his opponent.
Man, he... Again.
Oh, he forgot about the Mothership.
And what happens? What happens? He can't...
The thing is, he can't blink because he knows if he does, then he's going to get hit by the Disruptor, so he couldn't punish that.
I almost would love to believe that PartinG wanted to bait Showtime into making that mistake there.
Yeah, you could be very...
Oh, look at that Mothership Core! Or the Mothership!
He takes it down, but he also takes a lot of heat onto his Tempest, losing 3 in return for the Mothership.
Tempest dealing significant damage here. The little armada of 5 observers in PartinG's
I don't
army.
even know where the victory lies for both. I just... It feels just that it would be mistakes from one of them.
I think so. It comes down to who actually takes the engagement. I mean, it can get to a point where one of them, and it looks like, oh! Jesus.
Dude, what is this? This is PartinG throwing all his Stalkers at the Disruptors, and he got hit really hard there.
Oh dear, he's getting hit really hard, but he does have a higher Tempest count. Now the Tempest of Showtime are kind of shooting everything, whereas the Tempest of PartinG, they're really focusing on the Tempest of Showtime.
This looks like it's coming to its final conclusion, and I'm not sure who's winning this. It's 13 Tempest to 3, so the Sky War is 100% won by PartinG, but look how many Stalkers are left.
But can he blink aggressively? There's still so many Disruptors, and Tempests are really what you want at this point in time, but PartinG's down to 34 works as well, so his economy is in shambles. Resources lost. Look how close that is. This is insanely close.
For a 24-minute game, absolutely. And here we do see Showtime moving down. It's Stalkers now versus Tempest with Disruptor support underneath them. Surely that's good for PartinG here.
This is the Death Squad. Are there cannons at the bases of PartinG? Because that's quite a significant amount of damage that can be done, if not.
He's going to lose even more Tempest here.
PartinG, the Tempest Slayer, keeping that number down. And now I prefer his army composition, but when it comes down to control, those blinks forward, man, they're really causing PartinG a lot of trouble.
And Showtime's got Dog Templar into that expansion area, and he's going to take down this Nexus, perhaps.
And how does
you stop the
Showtime?
Tempest?
Yeah, how does Showtime kill this army now? He's got 33 Stalkers on the field, so that may be one way to do it, but the Disruptors, they stop the Stalkers from getting close to the Tempest. So right now, the Tempest, they control the air, but they also kill all the ground. Air superiority, but these Stalkers blink up to the high ground. I understand why, but leaving those Disruptors on the floor kind of has me worrying just a tad.
All right, so Showtime's going to send his army south. And that's quite a few Stalkers. He's obviously not looking to compete in the air anymore. He cannot, no way, be able to build a better fleet than PartinG, so he's going full Stalker.
Oh man, this game. And his army is more mobile, so I like the fact that he's going for these counterattacks and such, because these Tempests, they are sure they'll win the fight, but they're so ridiculously slow. Although they are getting some insane shots off here.
Yeah, it's taken a lot of heat, that Stalker army for Showtime, and slowly, after a 25-minute game, PartinG looking to get a bit of breathing room and perhaps turn this series from a 0-1 deficit into a 2-1 lead. As the winner of this will be going up against Firecake, and our next series, the winner of that goes up against Solar in the final. But right now, somehow, some way, Showtime needs to make these Stalkers work. He's got 38 of them, but there's 6 Disruptors protecting 13 Tempest.
It's incredibly hard. I love how Showtime's playing this, though, just trying to stay away from the Tempest. Maybe here, overextending just a little bit, losing quite a couple of Stalkers here.
Neither of them really have any probes to bring in any money. 19 workers to 10.
It's not often you see a game like this, Apollo.
No, not often at all.
Oh, is he cornered, though, with the Stalkers? He's having to take the fight here. And even if he gets away, he's taking so many shots here.
He's taken too much here, I feel, to Muslim. He's lost almost half of that army. And at this point, there's still Disruptors chasing. Showtime's in trouble. And PartinG looks to establish a lead for the first time in the series. GG.
Man, what a game.
Eventually, PartinG comes out on top. 2 games to 1.
Oh, look at the relief on PartinG's face as well. Instantly, hand on forehead, just wiping that away. This is not easy. This is not easy.
Not at all. Tough game for both, but PartinG goes up 2-1. Is now 1 game away from knocking out Showtime, as we only have 4 players remaining in this tournament, as we get closer and closer to finding out who will be our first DreamHack Legacy of the Void champion. And the way Protoss versus Protoss is playing in this game, it's a game of volleyball.
Game of volleyball. And it's kind of funny how PvP went from one of the shortest matchups in history to one of the longest. Like, because you just can't engage with your opponent. And if you do, we see what happens. You get absolutely obliterated by disruptors.
And I'm trying to imagine what we can see next. Our next map is going to be Ruins of Ceres, which is one of the bigger maps we have in the map pool, which would lead us to believe that a very similar type of game is going to be happening unless one of these players takes a drastic risk.
We saw the last time they had a long game, PartinG brought out the proxy gate, the proxy 3 gates actually, and managed to get a cheap win out of Showtime, which pulled him back into the series. In this game, he had the build order advantage by going Nexus first. And here we have to see quite a few of these disruptor hits. Insane damage being done on both sides here. Look at that. Fireworks absolutely everywhere.
And everyone's enjoying it. The only players who aren't, the only people who are not enjoying it is the players, because I imagine this is a highly stressful situation under these circumstances. But here's the closing. He was stuck, he was trapped, he was lost.
Yeah, it's insanely stressful. You can't look away from your army at all. This reminds me of the old days when you played against Instant Fungal as a Terran. One look away and Infestor just creeped onto your screen and bam, you could potentially lose the game right there and then. But this, so much more damage being done so instantly.
And it's all a fight for this trophy at the end of today. As in the next couple of hours, we will crown the first Legacy of the Void champion. And Solar, the big favorite to take that championship. Can one of these players rise through the ranks of the lower bracket to challenge the undefeated player who's lost only a single map throughout the entire of the tournament? One of these 2 Protoss players must become the true Zerg Slayer to make it through the last remaining couple of players.
And if anyone was to do it, out of the players that are left, to take on Solar, I'd imagine it would have to be one of these guys. As Firecake, he got 3-0'd, and as the series went on, Solar just looked better and better.
All right, here we go, DeMuslim. Time for game number 4 between Showtime and PartinG.
So, 4th game of the series, PartinG currently 2-1 up. Spawning over in the bottom right side, as I read Protoss, it is PartinG. And spawning on the opposite side of Ruins of Ceres as our blue Protoss, 2-time EPS champion, it is Showtime.
Currently teamless for everyone watching. He has no team in StarCraft 2.
He should join Team Apollo. He should make a team.
He should. We'd rule the world together. And my first transfer in eSports, I'd take Snoot. I'd take Snoot away from Team Liquid.
I think that's a mighty good pick.
Coach Apollo, Captain Showtime, and Conqueror Snoot. Together as one.
Snoot the Conqueror.
Lord Snoot.
Conqueror of the North.
King in the North.
Can't take that title.
Conqueror of many. All right.
So let's see what's happening here. PartinG opting for that early expand.
Whereas
yet
Showtime
again
has gone double gateway very early on. And I smell aggression coming out from Showtime.
What kind of aggression?
Well, it could be a full 1 base, 4 gates.
Stalkers, Adepts. Could it follow up with a Stargate?
Look at his pro positioning. He has not decided to go find out where his opponent is. He builds a pylon in between bases. And he is going for it to tie the series up with a highly aggressive build. Eventually, PartinG's going to get inside this base to figure out what is going on. Can he mount a defense, though?
That is the question. And this is one of the first times I've really seen Showtime opt to play super aggressive without expanding and such.
Well, he's maybe anticipating a Nexus first. If so, he's guessed right. But now can he actually execute what he wants to deliver? Whether this is a Stargate on the other side of the map, extra gateways, it's a robotics facility of all units, or structures, should I say.
Now, if we think about what you can actually make from that, You can make a Warp Prism, you can make Immortals, Disruptors if you get the additional tech structures, but what's he realistically going to do so early on in the game? I mean, you can technically use the Warp Prism
I don't know
as a
what
way
it
to
is,
avoid shots
but
from stalkers.
something is telling me it might be Immortal. Something's telling me. I don't know what, but we'll see. Another gateway's been added on down south.
This is very, very all-in, though, having a lot of your base outside your own base, and in fact, way closer to your opponent. This is proxying to a T. So what's he going to go? We've got Warp Gate on the way. Not yet. Okay, an Immortal.
We also have PartinG deciding to defend his second base, not his first.
Now,
Which
Immortals,
leaves him more vulnerable, larger ramp, larger surface area for Showtime to get up.
and PartinG, he knows that he didn't expand just yet, but right now he doesn't know if he's going to expand. He doesn't know what's coming to him.
No, he's got no idea. This could be Stargate, could be one base 4 gate, could be Blink, could be anything.
Oh, and this Mothership Core taking quite a bit of damage, but allows PartinG to chase these Stalkers. But upon seeing the extra 2, he must know something's happening.
He knows something is happening for sure. The question is, can he stop it? He's got a robotics facility down. He tried to build an observer, but he's going to switch over straight for an Immortal.
Immortals also, when we think about it, are so good against Pylons. Pylons have barely any health, so the fact that there is an Immortal at his front door...
Showtime's already lost one Stalker. He's going to lose a second.
Oh,
and he doesn't even get the Pylon!
Oh, that was quite a bit of missed micro. He lost 3 Stalkers for just 1 Pylon so far.
And he's breaking through here a little bit, but the problem is there's an Immortal on the way for PartinG. Showtime putting the pressure on. Probes coming off the line. He's microing the Immortal back. Another one is there just around the corner.
He needs to buy time for those Pylons getting up, but is this too much from Showtime here? He's taking them down very easily now by using the Immortal, and soon there's going to be a second Immortal joining the fray, but PartinG has one of his own.
Here it is. Another Pylon's going to get taken down. No, he pushes back.
And you know what? Immortals are so much better against other Immortals now. That hardened shield is not there, so 50 damage each hit is done.
Oh, 2 Immortals versus 1 currently. Photon overcharge on another Pylon, and this is all a game of control. The Mothership Core is down. No more Photon overcharge at all. Another Immortal is on its way for both sides. A third one about to pop. Is Showtime going to make this work, or is PartinG going to hold on and move forward 3-1?
The Immortal's taking so much damage of PartinG, is it going to go down? But he takes down the 2 Immortals of Showtime. The probes are actually doing an amazing job of surrounding units here and just being cannon fodder.
And another Immortal is here to play, but probes are doing the work. These guys are buffering, they're messing up the Immortal's movement. And right now, PartinG is looking good. The Mothership Core is back up. He can Photon overcharge again where necessary.
Oh, but is he overcommitting here? He's running down the ramp. If he stays at the top of this ramp, he has the vision advantage, but so many more Stalkers join the fray for Showtime. Now their army's very similar, except he has a Mothership Core and Pylons to fight as well.
Tries to go for the kill on the Mothership, couldn't get it. Has to back off once again.
Now, does PartinG start placing aggressive Pylons at the top of his ramp to help with this? Because, I mean, he knows for sure it's a massive all-in at this point.
Yeah, absolutely. 15 workers have been killed in help of the defenseman.
Oh,
great
shot.
usage of high ground advantage here. Showtime can't see up. And PartinG takes 2 Stalkers, 3 Stalkers for free.
Man. But the Immortal does suffer a big hit, and he's still trying to kill the Immortal despite the ability being activated where it is invulnerable there. So a little bit of missed micro from PartinG.
Another Immortal is here, though, for PartinG, and he continues to hold, and this is looking solid. This is looking great. Showtime is pushed out again.
Oh, he's staying at the ramp, and GG!
PartinG holds on and advances over Showtime. And PartinG is top 3 here with a very, very decisive victory in a long and hard-fought series against Showtime.
That was amazing by PartinG. What a series by both of them, actually. And yeah, PartinG has to realize that, man, he just fought a real contender there. Showtime took that first game so methodically, and then PartinG just went on a roll from there. The 4-minute game to get back into the series, then the long fought-out game where he copied Showtime's strategy with the Tempest. Then finally, Showtime opting for an all-in there. Very uncharacteristic of him, and it could have worked out to great effect, but PartinG managed to hold on.
He held on like a champion. Now there's only 3 players left in the StarCraft 2 tournament. It is PartinG versus Firecake next, with the eventual champion being Solar. Which one of the 3 will take the championship? PartinG wins 3-1 versus Showtime. We're going to go over to the stage in a quick second. with Sue. As you can see, the interview is almost ready, but a very good performance there from PartinG. Let's head over to the stage.
Congratulations, PartinG. After a crazy series, you've secured yourself into the top 3 here at the ROCCAT Legacy of the Void Championships. First of all, coming out of that booth, rather than a look of happiness or joy, you just looked so tired. I mean, talk to us. After an intense series with TY, you just had another crazy series against Showtime. What is going through your head right now?
일단 축하드리고요. 아까 전에 전태양 선수와도 되게 어렵게 이겼고 이번에도 약간 되게 스트레스 받는 게임들이었어요. 그래서 지금 이 순간 무슨 생각이 드시나요?
아까 TY 선수랑 할 때는 개인적으로 제가 좀 컨디션이 안 좋아서 좀 컨트롤이 잘 안 돼서 좀 스트레스 받았다고 치면은 이번에 쇼타임 선수는 생각 외로 너무 잘해가지고 진짜 힘들어가지고 그리고 한 수 제가 제대로 배운 것 같아요. 공부를 했어요. 템페스트에 대한 조합을 몰랐는데 게임을 하면서 이 선수가 진짜 한국 선수 못지않게 정말 연구를 많이 하고 잘하는구나라는 느낌을 받아가지고 스트레스를 굉장히 많이 받았어요. 내가 질 것 같다는 생각이 너무 많이 들어가지고 그래서 좀 게임 안에서 마인드 게임 같은 걸 좀 많이 했어요. 근데 그래서 승리할 수 있었던 것 같아요.
So he says, in terms of my series against TY, I was really stressed out because I felt like I wasn't playing at my best potential, and that's why those games stressed me out. But in terms of this series against Showtime, I was stressed because he was playing so well. I did not expect him to come and deliver the gameplay that he did, and most of all, I didn't realize that you could come up with that Tempest composition. I actually learned that PvP composition from him, so I really want to give him due credit because it seems he did do so much research and know a lot about the PvP matchup, so I want to give him that credit. And I also want to say I want to respect him as being a really, really good Protoss player. I want to say he's even as good as the Korean players I've been playing on the ladder over there, so huge shout-outs to him, and I really learned a lot from this match against him. And obviously, there were so many crazy things going on in that, but we need to talk about Game 3 because there were so many insane disruptor shots. I was backstage, I almost lost my voice screaming. How is it from your perspective?
일단 그 세 번째 경기에서 분열기를 진짜 왔다 갔다 하면서 진짜 미치는 것 같았어요. 저도 뒤에서 보고 있으면서 막 소리 지르고 그랬는데 원희삭 선수 입장에서 게임이 어떻게 흘러갔나요?
분명히 경기는 제가 유리했는데 그 분열기 디스러터 때문에 게임이 안 끝나더라고요. 그래서 이 부분은 약간 보는 입장에서 뭐 재미있었을지는 모르지만 하는 입장에서는 굉장히 스트레스를 많이 받았고 왜 안 끝나지 이런 생각이 계속 들어가지고 그래서 블리자드가 이 게임을 봤다면 약간의 좀 패치를 해줬으면 좋겠어요.
So he says in terms of that game, I felt like I was at an advantage, but obviously I couldn't just finish it because of the disruptor and fearing the disruptor shots and absolutely annihilating my entire army. So in this regard, Blizzard, please, can you do something? I feel like, it's just so hard to close out the games because of the disruptors, and maybe it would have been fun for you guys, but it was kind of stressful for me. So please, Blizzard, if you're watching, that's my feedback for you guys. And last but not least, PartinG, your next opponent is going to be Firecake. Now, you just had 2 tough series. One was against a Terran, one was a Protoss, and your next will be a Zerg. How are you feeling about that particular matchup coming up?
이제 다음 상대는 파이어케이크 선수인데 이제 저그 선수예요. 이제 그냥 어떠세요?
그냥 아이어를 위해서 프로토스가 우승하는 거를 보여드리겠습니다.
Kept it simple. He says, I will do this for Ire, guys. I will do it for Ire, my life for Ire. So give it up for PartinG. He does advance to the top 3 and will go on to face Firecake to see who will go on to face Solar in the grand finals. Nathanius, back to you.
Thank you very much, Smix. Wow, what a series. Sean, we've gone bowling before, right?
Yeah, we've gone bowling, we've played volleyball. Haven't played tennis yet, though.
No, we have not. But, it does kind of feel a little bit like that, man. Stalkers are the new pins of PvP. That was a really fun series to watch.
It was nice to see the evolution of PvP as well. Like the Disruptors and Stalkers, they're fun. But the Tempest edition as well, that really worked out well. And you could see that it's obviously the right choice. And it may not seem so technically, but yeah, you just can't get to them at all. So they constantly deal damage.
It's really crazy to think about the zoning power of the Disruptors. Is there anything that we were missing there, or did it really seem like these guys had it like really well figured out as far as how the compositions balanced each other?
I mean, potentially, you could just go pure air at the end just to avoid dealing with disruptors at all. But that's the only thing I can possibly see going.
It might be too hard to make that switch, though.
Yeah, I think so too.
What about the aggressive play? You know, is this Showtime trying to make that? Was he going for the reset the same way that PartinG was on Dusk Towers?
Against a Nexus first opening, this is a very, very tough defense for the Nexus first player. This build is supposed to cancel the expansion from the expanding player pretty much all the time, but Showtime in the initial attack made some mistakes.
I think the choice, surprisingly, was probably the victory for PartinG. Is in that when you don't know what exactly you're going against, the robotics facility seems like a bit of a brave choice to make. You know, if you think back to how a lot of other players hold it, is they slap down a bunch of gateways and try to rush out units as fast as possible, hold on until they can overwhelm. The robotics facility, though, imagine if this was a Stargate. I mean, sure, he's got the mothership core, but where is it going to be if an Oracle comes into the main base? So I think the choice to go robotics facility was the right one in this scenario. But if it had been something else, I think he could have been in a lot more trouble than he actually was.
I think it's a great choice in general because, like we discussed earlier, the mothership core, if a proxy Oracle flies in, if you have the pylons in position and if you have the mothership core in position, you can just pop those overcharges, make some additional stalkers, and you should be fine against the Oracle. Whereas with the robotics, you can counter the possibility of a proxy Dark Shrine, and you can also fare much better against the proxy robotics.
Yeah.
I think it's the best choice.
I think that that Showtime also perhaps was he over keen to kill pylons. He was losing stalkers a lot.
The first pylon.
Yeah, he hemorrhaged
even
a
left
lot
it up.
of his forces.
Yeah, it was up on like one hit remaining. It was still dealing damage for a good like 3 or so seconds, but that's enough to put you far behind when you're doing an all-in with like so few units.
Yeah, that pylon does something like 30 damage per hit,
Yes.
so it's it really it wrecks armies like that.
It's significant.
Yeah, even just 3 seconds is quite a bit. So I mean, PartinG played really well in that series. Showtime played exceptionally. It was so back and forth. I feel like a lesser player would have crumbled very quickly during that Disruptor Stalker phase, but to see it go all the way out like that was awesome. Of course, PartinG does now advance to play against Firecake, and the winner of that best of 5 will move on to the grand finals to play against Solo. We're very excited for this match. We hope you are too. We'll be coming right back with that series following this break.